Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Does anyone in the federal government really understand what their mission is? We see today that the Pentagon has unveiled plans for dealing with climate change. Yes, that's their priority, climate change. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel addressed the Conference of Defense Ministers of the Americas today with a comprehensive plan on how the U.S. military will address the effects of climate change. Listen, the hockey stick that Michael Mann created, that Al Gore's used in his documentaries, is not happening. The rise in CO2 has not been accompanied by a rise in global temperatures. They've gone down. Yet they're still jousting at that windmill. They're still trying to pretend that that's something that's real. We have a real hockey stick emergency, and that's the Ebola outbreak. Yet the military is not the right tool to use there either. Except that when you see that the only tool that you've got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. We've gone from a situation where every problem in society needs to be addressed by the federal government to a situation where every problem in society needs to be addressed by the military or a militarized police. We got a drug problem? Throw brute force at it. And that's what they're doing now. Now, when we don't understand what the mission is, when we see that back in 2010, for example, remember in 2010, July 2010, we had the head of NASA under Obama saying that his mission was to reach out to Muslims. And so now we see the U.S. military fighting Ebola, fighting climate change, and of course, involved in many wars throughout the world. Wars that in many cases are perhaps started by false flags. Have we seen the uncovering of the planning of a false flag in a trial that's going on right now? The Washington Post reports that in a probe of silencers, it leads to a web of Pentagon secrets. They say a criminal investigation has exposed a secret weapons program that was entwined with allegations of a sweetheart contract, fake badges, and trails of destroyed evidence. Now, this is a civilian naval intelligence officer who conspired to manufacture untraceable batch of automatic rifle silencers or suppressors. He conspired with the brother of the directorate, a guy who is a mechanic, an auto mechanic in California, to make 349 suppressors. They say they don't really know what the purpose of this was. Was it really a rogue mission, or was it something just criminal action that these guys were involved in? Now, they work in the Pentagon, and they have, listen to this, a directorate for plans, policy, oversight, and integration. They say the directorate is composed of fewer than 10 civilian employees, most of them retired military personnel. And as one person from the Navy said, I know it sounds goofy, but it was like they were building their own mini law enforcement and intelligence agency. Now, the interesting part of this is that it isn't just this group of people conspiring to secretly make untraceable suppressors. In a pretrial hearing, a defense attorney for the auto mechanic accused the Navy of impeding the investigation by destroying a secret stash of automatic rifles that the silencers were designed to fit. See, the plot thickens. At this point, the Navy is destroying rifles that these silencers are going to be put on. And so they asked the question. Well, of course, the prosecutors there for the government immediately said, stop. This is top secret. They point out that if foreign-made weapons were equipped with unmarked silencers, the source said, the weapons could have been used by U.S. or foreign forces for special operations in other countries without any risk that they would be traced back to the United States. Yes, it looks like the perfect setup for some kind of false flag terrorist event or staging something either domestically or foreign. Remember that it was just about a year ago, it was back in August of 2013, that we reported here at Infowars that the U.S. Army was buying nearly 600,000 Soviet AK-47 magazines fully loaded. And of course, the U.S. Army doesn't use AK-47s. These were AK-47s that they destroyed as part of that plot. Well, speaking of conspiracy theories and suppressors, let's talk about Dick Cheney. He's doing interviews, and he said in an interview with Bill Kristol, I think 9/11 will turn out to be not nearly as bad as the next mass casualty attack against the U.S., which, if and when it comes, will be something far deadlier than with airline tickets and box cutters. And Cheney also defended the so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, specifically waterboarding, as well as defending the NSA. And then Kristol ended the conversation by thanking Dick Cheney for his model public service. Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Introducing the first proprietary oxygen-based intestinal cleanser, OxyPowder, backed by FDA-approved phase 1, 2, and 3 clinical trials. All the toxins from the air, the food, the water, ultimately ends up in the gut or affects the gut. Take your health into your own hands and start cleansing your body today with OxyPowder. Secure your OxyPowder today at InfowarsLife.com. That's InfowarsLife.com.